Today's video has stemmed from one brief moment in The Witcher 3. I imagine a lot of you watching know exactly which moment I'm talking about, as it has been discussed to death by people all over Reddit and other internet forums. The reason I've never discussed it before is personally, when I first heard Ciri talk about this in The Witcher 3, I just considered it to be a throwaway line that was used to illustrate that other worlds exist, and not just other worlds in a medieval fantasy setting. You know, there are other worlds, but they can be anything. However, after watching the recent Cyberpunk E3 conference and going back over that moment with Geralt and Ciri, it seems to me that Ciri is definitely referencing a world that is at least similar to the Cyberpunk world. First of all, listen to this line.
People there had metal in their heads, waged war from a distance, using things similar to megascopes. And there were no horses. Everyone had their own flying ship instead.
Ciri, stop fooling around.
Okay. So, from the first part of that line, we can see from basically every trailer that having, well, as Ciri puts it, metal in your head is a very common thing in the Cyberpunk world. In fact, listen to what Keanu Reeves said at the E3 briefing.
Where body modification has become an obsession.
Clearly this type of cybernetics is quite common within the Cyberpunk world, so if Ciri were to have gone to Night City, I imagine this would have been very noticeable, hence of why she might have thought of it so clearly when talking to Geralt. I mean, look at this guy. If I saw him with his weird-looking spider-ass face, I don't think I'd forget it. I'll see you in my nightmares, Spider-Face man. Ugh. Anyway, for the next part of Ciri's line, she mentions how people wage war from afar. Now, from the trailers and gameplay, the fighting in Cyberpunk seems pretty hands-on. However, there is this one brief moment in the first Cyberpunk trailer where we see a guy I guess you could say is waging war from afar. Also, in the scene before, we see people seemingly getting attacked by, I guess, cables, which is also fighting from a distance. This second bit of sentence does definitely still support the idea of a Cyberpunk-style world that Ciri went to, as honestly, we already wage war from afar in our own world, so in a Cyberpunk-like world with this advanced technology, it is most likely a thing and significantly more advanced. Ciri then discusses how everyone had their own flying ship instead of horses. Now we can see that this is not necessarily true for Cyberpunk. I believe the main character V just has a fairly normal car, obviously with sort of enhanced technology, but I don't think it flies. But from the trailers, personal flying ships definitely seem like a thing in this world too. Perhaps Ciri was just exaggerating a bit, as although everyone doesn't have their own flying ships, it definitely seems like seeing personal flying vehicles would be pretty common in this world. Okay, so I couldn't talk about Ciri potentially appearing in Cyberpunk without discussing one of the brief points that was mentioned by the cdprojektred studio head, Adam Badowski, which I may be saying incorrectly, sue me. So, to quote him, he said this: "We are not Kingdom Hearts. We are not joining universes, and I know that there are a lot of fans on the team and they would like to have Ciri in the game, but I am totally against it. Still." So, it does seem pretty clear that Ciri as an actual character may not appear in the game. However, I would still say that it is very likely a little Easter egg involving her will appear, despite what Adam says about no joining universes. Personally, I feel as if it would be one of those non-apparent Easter eggs where it's up for debate about whether it's Ciri or not, and I know I'll be getting comments telling me that there won't be an Easter egg and to stop talking about it, and to that, I say simply, why not? I don't see any major harm having, I don't know, just someone mentioning this or a white-haired girl disappear into thin air. It doesn't necessarily have to be Ciri, so the world's lore is intact, and for people who love cdprojektred's other games, it can act as an almost acknowledgement for their dedication to find those Easter eggs. I would just like to quickly add that I do think it is very unlikely that there won't be a Ciri Easter egg in the game. Not only because of what Ciri said, but because of the amount of fans that cdprojektred will know it means a lot to. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I have another Cyberpunk video planned, as honestly I'm pretty excited for this game, and there's a bit more I'd like to talk about involving it, and some of my personal observations, you know, stuff like that as well, just general Cyberpunk stuff. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter for updates, follow me on Twitch as I've been streaming more. I actually have a schedule now, so go check that out. My name's Falsionix. Okay, I'm done with the plugs, join the Discord, Reddit, and all that good stuff. I'll see everybody later, and anyway, I'll leave you all with the awesome Patreon pledges. Thank you for watching. Oh, and one more thing.
You're breathtaking!